Hello, good evening. Good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome everyone to our Tuesday online meditation. And today I'm joining to this live stream from Philadelphia. Um, uh, I welcome you all. We will do our usual practice on Tuesday. So it has been more than a year that we are meeting through online. But it has now developed into a habit, a custom that Tuesday evening we will try to reserve that time to sit and contemplate and settle down and have more deeper awareness of our own body and mind, and then develop a wholesome quality of loving kindness. So I'm so glad that you made the decision to come and join this meditation. And so you will see a different background today. So this is where I'm staying in Philadelphia during these few months. Of course, during the weekdays, I'll be back to Pittsburgh every weekend. But anyway, it's nice to have you all. So let us do our meditation together. So before our practice, I would like you to give some thoughts, some insightful discussion for us to develop more deep understanding of our mind, and also to know how to use our meditation in our daily life. When we, as meditators and as people who are engaging in this uh, specific kind of practice and training, we have understood to some level that our thoughts, the thoughts that occur in our mind, are random, and our thoughts that occur in our mind are not necessarily consciously produced, automatic. Most of our thoughts are automatic, random. Um, Actually, in a deeper level of understanding, whatever thoughts that occur in our mind occurs due to a habit, due to a habit formation that we had. But today, I would like you to, pay a little bit deeper attention to these, thoughts that we have in our mind. So all the time, if you really pay attention, during your daily life, all the time you can see there is inner voice. There's an inner voice occurring in our mind. It's almost like someone is speaking like silently to us. And whenever we see a person, whenever we are going to a certain place, whenever we read something, we encounter anything, there's an inner talk, self-talk happening inside of us. And this inner talk is important, because it is through that inner talk that we make like we make decisions, and we make categorization of the situation and people. And it is through that inner talk, or inner self-talk, that we will decide to avoid or decide to approach the situation. So it's quite important, this inner talk that's happening. And most of the time, this inner talk is happening so fast and so habitually, and we even do not pay attention to them. We simply, follow this self inner talk, rather than questioning it, rather than even watching at it, and simply follow that inner talk. But this self inner talk that is happening all the time is quite important, because it is this inner talk that is happening in us will decide, how we relate to someone, and our judgments about people, and it affects all our relationships. It affects many things that we do in our life. So because that that constant inner talk, inner self talk, it will kind of push us to make certain decisions, push us to to speak in a particular way. So we really have to pay attention to this inner talk that is happening. And as I told you, these thoughts occur to us due to a habit. Sometimes this inner talk that happening in us can be positive thoughts, and sometimes they can be negative thoughts. Sometimes there can be in a talk of criticism, and we have the patterns. This inner talk has its own pattern. We have developed certain pattern. Over years. Therefore, sometimes this inner talk will be like, maybe uh, always, maybe criticizing others, criticizing society, criticizing, the things, how, the society operates. And of course, there are things to be, the things that we can improve. But, as a habit, constantly without our knowing, we can have that habit of criticizing all the time, criticizing behavior, criticizing people, and we can have that inner self-talk as a habit. So if that's the case, and whatever we say, whatever the decision we make, our communication, our relationship, all these are affected by this self inner talk that has this 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 tendency to criticize. But sometimes this inner self-talk is not criticizing others, but mainly maybe criticizing oneself. And we can have such a habit too. It's always self talk happening within us, that we always criticize ourselves. I should have done in a different way. Why did I did this? Why did I come here? Or why did I said that? So all the time, criticism is like to oneself. So there can be so many other patterns too. So it's really important that we pay attention and see, in this self-talk that is happening all the time. It's like whispering to us, like all the happening all the time, that pushing us to do certain things and not to do other things and to speak. And this inner self-talk has a pattern. So we really want to like pay some attention and recognize what is the pattern that is occurring in me. What kind of pattern that is occurring in me, and what is the pattern? So it's really for us to know that we need to start to look into this self-talk. And whenever we are walking in the street and we are seeing different people, different signboards, whatever, and then there's a self-talk happening. And they just, and so we simply follow those thoughts and make decisions, make judgments, and do all these things. But then, as people who are meditating, we develop this ability to watch our sensations, watch our body, watch our mind too, and watch our thoughts too. So while this happening, like this self-talk whispering to us, we should also develop. We should also once in a while be aware. Oh, interesting. What came to me naturally. What came to me automatically. Why am I'm instead of asking why I'm thinking that way. That will be another self-criticism. Most of the time we ask that question, why did I think that? Instead of asking why, and we just have to like first acknowledge, oh, it's interesting. Interesting how I have these thoughts. I have this self-talk. And if you can have an objective observation of this, self-talk happening all the time, after a while you can recognize a pattern. Sometimes these patterns are good, wholesome, and that is so good. It's good for you, and good for many others too, because this constant self-talk. If you have like a positive, like a wholesome pattern that you always think about, kindly about people, although you see some unruly behavior in other people, maybe your self-talk is whispering that, oh, maybe that person is going through a problem. So, and if you and that is a wholesome pattern. Maybe sometimes our patterns can be wholesome, but not necessarily all the time. Sometimes we can have unwholesome, unskillful, unhealthy patterns too. So first we need to recognize them, and once you recognize them, if you realize that these are like always bringing more negativity, more like pain and more suffering, and maybe then through with our meditation practice we can learn to change this pattern. The self-talk is going to happen anyway. We just have to find a way to first observe them, like not rather than simply following them, but simply observe them, and maybe we can make a decision whether to follow that thought or not. and or we can replace them with a wholesome one. And in the reminder email, we talked about how we can replace thoughts of greed, thoughts of hatred with the wholesome thoughts. And in the team, in our friend Tim Krupa's email, he was also referring to thoughts, and how if we have a good memory of what happened in our previous encounters, previous experiences, and we can use that our own experience to decide what kind of thoughts are going to be beneficial and what are not going to be beneficial. So, but first of all, we need to be aware of this self-talk that is happening, and what the meditation practice that you're doing is helping you so much in developing that skill to watch our own thoughts without being involved in with them. That's a great ability. Sometimes we cannot even imagine. Can I look at my own thoughts without being involved with it, without being entangled with them. For most of people, it may sound impossible. But as gradual, when you practice meditation, first observing the body, and then observing the sensation, and then also observing the mind, and with curiosity watching, what would come to my mind next? And then by doing that practice, and even in your daily life, when you're walking through the street, when you are talking to your colleagues at work, and when you are dealing with anything, and you can apply that skill first to re-evaluate the self-talk that is happening, like whispering to us, and have a short, very, very short moment of observation and re-evaluation of this self-talk, and not necessarily follow them and not necessarily deny them, but simply have a bit of an awareness and maybe some re-evaluation of this self-talk happening. And then when we have that awareness, we can decide whether to follow that self-talk. Maybe we can suggest, no, we can have self-talk about judging people, thinking, and then we can have self-suggestion. No, wait a minute, that may not be the truth. Let's give him a chance of doubt, and we can suggest ourselves and re-channel our self-talk. I'm not saying that self-talk is always bad. Self-talk can be useful, helpful, and help us to make good choices, definitely. But we just have to be a little bit of aware of this self-talk, because this self-talk comes to us as a result of habit and as like automatic pattern. So we need to be aware of it. And the loving kindness meditation that we do is actually helping us to create a wholesome pattern of the self-talk. And when you do this practice of loving kindness, and we purposely generate wholesome, loving and caring thoughts about everyone, including ourselves and everyone, and just making a genuine wish of well-being. Even though we may not agree with everyone in the world, but we simply wish them to be well, wish them to be at peace, wish them to be kind, and that making that wish and maintaining that wholesome wish continuously, and directing the different direction, different groups of people, and maintaining that wholesome wish for a while, we create a pattern. And that pattern can also influence our self-talk that is happening all the time. And if we have, so that is the way this loving kindness meditation can help us to transform our self-talk to have a positive patterns, positive self-talk, and that if we can change that, then that self-talk is going to influence most of our relationships, communications, and many things. So I think with loving kindness meditation, we develop deeper empathy to all the people, understanding that some people may be not behaving in an optimal way, because they are victims to their conditions and circumstances. We develop a deeper empathy towards everyone. I remember one important simile given by a spiritual teacher, Ram Das. He passed away a few years ago, and he was a great spiritual teacher, and he was telling um, about similar for forest. Like when we go to a forest, we see different types of trees. Some trees are very tall. Some trees are not that tall. Some trees are bent. Some trees are straight. Some trees are healthy grown. Some trees are not healthy grown, and all different shapes and kinds and sizes. So it's a whole diversity in the forest, right? When you go to a forest, and then why these trees are different? Why some are straight, some are bent. Some are healthy, some are not healthy. And why is that? So you understand that one thing is that two things. One, some trees get their nature, uh, their features from their seeds. So based on the seeds, this tree will grow. The other condition is that maybe they haven't got enough in sunlight. Maybe if certain trees are bent, maybe they are looking for sunlight. And then and some have not grown well because they don't get the sunlight because other trees are growing on the top of that. And sometimes maybe the ground, the soil, maybe soil may not be for some trees they are healthy, they are growing tall because the soil in that area is good. Some trees may not grow in the same way because they may not have a similar kind of soil. So when we see this different nature of trees, and we kind of get the idea, and we don't really judge, discriminate. Not really judge. We don't really discriminate these trees. We understand, why they are the way, why they are the way they are. But when it comes to people, when we see different nature, different character, different personality, different way of speaking, different way of behavior, when we see people, somehow we don't get the same understanding that we have about trees. So Ram Das used to say that I look at people as trees. That means that he look into people like thinking about their background, their upbringing, and their maybe even their genetic inheritance, and develop some kind of empathy and try to understand. It doesn't mean that we will approve everyone, but simply understand why the people are the way they are. Just like trees are different based on the circumstances and their seeds, and people can be different based on their circumstances and their genes and their upbringing. So when we have that kind of empathy, it's quite kind of easy. We can still encourage and help people to change, but before that we develop kind of acceptance and empathy, and it makes us so much easier to deal with everyone. So that's the benefit we get through loving kindness meditation. So I hope that you will pay some attention to your self-talk. There's always a whispering friend, whispering voice happening inside you all the time, suggesting and making all kind of things. So we will. So once in a while, we have to have another voice, more like another voice. Wait a minute. What this voice is telling me, is it really valid, or is it really wholesome? So for this self-talk happening all the time, once in a while we have to have another voice, not really criticizing voice, but simply awareness, bringing some awareness and reevaluate, so that we can understand our patterns, and if they're wholesome, we can continue. If they're not wholesome, we can make some effort to self-suggest and change the patterns. And with loving kindness meditation, we change the pattern of our self-talk. Okay, with that, let us start our practice. I'm so glad that you are joining with me today and this evening. This is really, really important practice we are doing, training our mind and helping ourselves, and also helping so many others. And it's how wonderful to live with a cultivated mind that can help many others, including yourself. So with that, rejoice. Let us start our practice. So you can adjust your body, make sure that you have, a little bit upright upper body. But you need to make sure that you relax yourself. Your shoulders are relaxed and dropped, but it's a straight body, shoulders relaxed, and chin somewhat parallel with the earth. Resting our palm on our lap. Okay, just take a moment to adjust, make little bit of subtle adjustment in the body, like shifting, tilting your buttock, in adjusting your legs and do some subtle adjustment to make yourself comfortable, stable. So I'm going to ring this bell to help you to bring your attention to this present moment. Use the sound of the bell to gather your attention from external things to internal world. Just use the bell. And I will also do a chant to help you to settle. Throughout this bell and the chant, we are going to simply observe and feel our body. Right now, when you are sitting, you can feel the touch sensation with your chair or cushion. Observe how the muscles are pressed there. You can feel the clothes in upper body, in many parts of your body. Some areas we can feel clothes more prominently than others. So just pay attention to those areas where you feel touch sensation with your clothes. And just go around your body. There can be many other sensations available for you. Those sensations can be anchors for us to be here in the present moment and settle down our mind. So all the bell and the chant, stay in your body. Namo Buddhaya. Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Buddhaya. Continue to feel your body with this awareness of the body. You will allow this body to relax further and further. We can further relax all the muscles in this body. We can allow tight areas in the body to open up, to release and relax. We can use our breath to further relax our body. Allow your breath to be long. Take a very slow, long breath in and release that breath very slowly, allowing the whole chest to drop and relax. Take the next breath, slow, deep, long breath in, and allow the breath also to come down and relax, to open up and release. With every out breath, we will allow this body to relax, release. We can now let the normal breaths to happen. We can further relax our facial muscles. We can drop our jaw inside the mouth, a gentle drop of the jaw, relaxing all the muscles there. With this relaxed body, we will let this body to sit here as relaxed as it can. Simply let the body to be, just letting it to be. With this relaxed body, we will now bring our whole attention to our mind. You simply watch. What are the thoughts? What are the memories that are surfacing to our mind right now? These random thoughts are like part of our self-talk. We will simply notice what will be the self-talk happening right now without stopping any thought. You simply notice and watch the occurrence of self-talk, different thoughts. Various random thoughts keep occurring. Various memories keep surfacing. We will simply notice them without developing any one of them further. We simply notice. Let us now purposely introduce a wholesome thought. We will now consciously, with deliberation, with conscious awareness, we will now purposely generate and develop a wholesome thought, a wholesome mental quality, loving kindness. Loving kindness. Loving kindness is inner capacity we all have. It's a wholesome quality. It's a fulfilled quality. We all have this capacity deep in our mind. Loving kindness is the willingness for all beings to be well. Loving kindness is the genuine wish of well-being. It is the goodwill, a genuine goodwill towards all. We will now bring that wholesome wish, that willingness to the surface of the mind. We will cultivate, manifest this wholesome quality. wish of well-being, goodwill, loving kindness. We will direct this loving kindness to all different types of beings. But we will start with ourselves, the living being sitting here. We will start with this living being. We will direct this wholesome wish of well-being, just like we wish for a little baby. When you see a little toddler, when we see a little puppy or kitten or little bird, we generate that wish of well-being. We will direct the same level of wish to this person sitting here, to ourselves. May this person sitting here, may I be, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. We will extend this loving kindness to all our body, radiating this loving kindness wish, this whole body. This body has been helping us to live this precious life. We will take a moment to radiate this loving kindness, this body, allowing this loving kindness intention travel throughout the body, healing each organ, each system of the whole. May these lungs, which are helping us right now to breathe, may these lungs and whole respiratory system be healthy, be healed. May this heart, cardiac muscles, the whole cardiovascular system be healthy, be healed. May this digesting system, all the organs in this digesting system which help us to digest what we eat and absorb the nutrients, the stomach, liver, pancreas, intestine, colon, the whole digestive system Be well. Be healthy. Be healed. May these kidneys, which helps us to release the toxins from the body, may these both kidneys and the whole genitourinary system be well, be healthy, be healed. May this nervous system, the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, the spinal cord, the brain, the whole nervous system be well, be healthy, be healed. In this whole body, all the muscles, all the bones, all the joints throughout this body be well, be. Allow this loving kindness to travel throughout the body, healing each part of the body. We will now radiate this loving kindness beyond ourselves to everyone else. How good if all others feel safe and feel peaceful. Let us make that wish. May all people who are connected to my life, may all our family members, all our good friends, may all our colleagues, may all of them be well, be safe, be healthy, be peaceful. Let us expand this wish beyond these close people in our life to all other people, may all people living in our surrounding area, may all these neighbors and all people living in the whole neighborhood, in this whole surrounding area, may all of them be well, be safe, be healthy, be peace. Let's expand this wish beyond this area to all other directions, to think about people and beings living in faraway places and taking time for them to wish well-being. May all people living in faraway places in the direction that we are facing, may all people living in the direction of our front, may all of them be well, be well, be well, be peaceful. May all people, all beings living in the direction of our right, may all people living in this direction right now, in faraway places in this direction, may they all be well, be well, be well, be peaceful. May all people, all beings living in the direction of our back, all of them, may they all be well, be well, be well, be peaceful. May all people, all beings living in the direction of our left, every one of them living in this direction right now, may all of them be well, be well, be well, be peace. Let us expand our wish beyond all people to all other beings, be all other animals living area. They too deserve our loving kindness. They too seek for safety and happiness. May all animals living all over the world, may all other visible and invisible beings living throughout the universe, each and every living organism without exception, be well, be well, be well, be peaceful, peaceful, peace. Loving kindness is pervaded into every direction. It embraces all beings without exception. This is a limitless love, boundless loving kindness pervading to every direction. Rejoice. Rejoice this wholesome state of the mind. With this rejoice, let us now enhance the peace, the relative peace that we are experiencing. Let us deepen it by simply, quietly sitting, by paying attention to our breath. This, this peace that you're experiencing now can be deepened, it can have more settled states. But gently bring our attention to our breath. Closely watch the sensation of the breath moving in and out. Observing the movement of the breath, the sensation in the nostrils. Just pay attention to the changes happening with the in-breath and the out-breath. This breath makes us alive with deep gratitude towards the breath and the air. Just gently pay attention to the breath and stay with the breath. Let us try to bring our attention back to the breath again and again and just try to be with it as long as we can until the bell rings. Keep coming back to the breath. Mindfully breathe in, mindfully breathe out. Gently come out of the meditation. Gently let us take a moment to feel grateful for this opportunity to have a peaceful meditation in our life. Let us feel grateful to all great teachers, enlightened masters in the past. Let us deeply feel grateful towards them for passing these teachings from generation to generation. Let us feel grateful to anyone who helped your meditation tonight, even anyone at home who tried not to disturb your meditation. Let us feel grateful to them. Let us also feel grateful to any non-living things which helped our meditation, including the device that helped you to connect to this meditation, and to cushion the chair you are sitting on, to everything. With deep gratitude, let us say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. It was so nice to have you all, and thank you very much for taking this evening to do this practice, wonderful practice. I hope that your self-talk will gradually convert to loving talk and more talk with more awareness. So look forward to see you again, and have a great evening. May you continue this peace towards the rest of the week. And thank you, Tina, for your nice comment, and thank you, Kay. And so, of course, feel free to leave us a comment before you leave. And really nice to see you all. Look forward to see you again. Thank you.